Hey friend, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. Today I'm hosting my very first collab video. I have some of my friends who are on YouTube that I want you guys to know about. So I thought, let's host a collab video. We all carry the new paper from the painted photographer called Connie Lines Designs. So we thought that'd be a perfect topic. So if you want to see what I come up with, stick around. And if you want to see what they come up with, make sure you check them out. Here are the ladies from the collab: Kristen, Simply Joy by Kristen, Leanne, Small Gestures of Vintage and Crafts, Tara at the Reclaimed Ranch, and Treasure at Made with Love. Let's go ahead and look at some of the Connie Lines and Designs papers that inspired me this week. I was looking at all things angels. This is Daddy's Little Girl in multiple variations. This angel is in honor of a granddaughter that Connie and her family lost. I fell in love with the first variation, which is Sweet Charlie right here. These angels are just so precious to Connie, and you can tell by the beautiful artwork. I had a tough time getting started this week, so I just went with the first Sweet Charlie paper that has always spoken to me. I've used this before. I decided to cut her out this time, just very carefully, and use just a sheet of music from this thrifted book that I have. And I'm going to go over this black book. I'm going to just tear the edges, and they're not going to be perfect and they're irregular, and I'm fine with that. Actually, I prefer it. I think if this was a perfect rectangle, it would look very strange and be like, why are you on the top of this book? But when you do it in this irregular way, it looks like a made object. Next, I'm going to figure out where I want Sweet Charlie to be, turn the paper around so that it works well together. And then I'm going to go over the book a couple times with DIY's liquid patina. This is the decoupage medium that I'm going to be using, but since this is a solid piece of music paper, I'm going to go pretty heavy with the liquid patina because it will soak it up since it's a solid sheet of paper. I'm going to put the music sheet on there and then put the liquid patina over the top. You will see that I put Sweet Charlie on there already. And some of you might be going, no, because you're going to be able to see through her, right? So watch what I do. I use my liquid patina, I put her on, and she's rice paper. I spray her down. I put her on, and then I realized, you know what? I don't like that. I don't like that I can see all the music sheets through her. So she's rice paper. You have a little bit more play with rice paper. So I very carefully peel her off. I turn her upside down and very carefully paint on the back of her with white paint. I'm being very sweet to her. I'm using a very light touch. I just want there to be a layer in between so that you're not seeing music notes through her. So this worked. I did add some more liquid patina and put her right on with the wet paint, and it worked just fine. Phew, I almost made a big mistake, didn't I, guys? Next, I'm going to cast a mold in the new to me Wings and Feathers IOD mold. I was looking for an excuse to order this, so now I have 2 extra because I kept 1 for myself, and I have 2 out there on my website, and I'm using IOD clay and casting these beautiful angel wings and trying to figure out a way to use them on this book. They are a little big for the spine, so I'm going to do a little bit of surgery. At first, I use my handy dandy letter opener to kind of get part of the wing off, and then I get out my X-Acto knife to thin the wings out a little bit, and then I will need to, I want to keep the ends of the wing, so I'm going to cut the center part so that it can be nice and equal and fit across the book well. Next, I go over it with a layer of white paint. I just use White Swan, so that when I went over it with a couple layers of Pennies from Heaven, which is the copper version of liquid patina from DIY Paint, that it would have something to kind of stick to and seal. So that second layer, you can see, adds the shimmer and shine while the clay is still wet but the paint is dry. I glue it onto the book with TIghtbond Quick and Thick, and then after it has dried overnight and everything is dry, the clay, the paint, and the glue, I go over it with some dark wax to make it look more of a coppery color. If you guys are new here, welcome to Create Your Own Cozy. I would love it if you hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and let me know you are here. For project number 2, I am gonna show you real quick the wings and feathers mold. Look how gorgeous those angel wings are, and the feathers. There's just some fun items in this particular mold. So I'm using IOD clay again with the cornstarch, so I have a nice easy release. And then if there's any spaces that you need to soften up, that is really easy to do. And my little letter opener is very helpful for that as well. Next, I was like, well, okay, well, I have these beautiful angel wings. What the heck am I gonna do with them? So I paint them white while the clay is still wet, so that they are less likely to crack. And then I go in my stash of goodies to try to find something to put these angel wings on. This is how much I wanted to use the angel wings. I found this little canister. It is solid wood. I thrifted it a while ago. In my mind, it could either be a vase or a riser. And so I was trying to figure out, the angel wings looked better with it being a riser. So I'm using TIghtbond Quick and Thick while the clay is still wet but the paint is dry. I am making sure I push it down over all the surfaces right here. I'm not covering up. Originally I was trying to do like a wood and white look, but there was no way to get these angel wings to cover up the writing the way I wanted it to. So I just put it on there, let it dry overnight, and now I'm going to add some black paint. Some black velvet DIY paint is going to go over the entire thing. Honestly, I only did like one coat. I really needed to work really hard around the mold and make sure everything was covered with the paint, but I did one coat of DIY's paint. It's so highly pigmented, that's all I needed. Then I used a baby wipe to wet distress the black paint so that I could see the beautiful wood coming through. And then I did the magic again with Pennies from Heaven. Guys, I have not used Pennies from Heaven very much, but I think I'm going to be doing it a lot more because I love how it's coming out, especially with some dark wax or some dark and decrepit over the top of it. Next, I go over all of the paint with DIY's dark wax. All DIY paint needs to be sealed, and I'm going to do this with the dark wax to bring out the rich tones of the wood and the black. And then I'm going to also use the same wax over the top of the wings for a gorgeous, gorgeous look. It's a subtle difference, but the one on the bottom has dark wax, the one on the top does not, so you can change the tone of the product. The next project is done with an ornament blank that my friend Kristen at Simply Joy by Kristen showed on her channel, and I would tell you to go check her channel out, but guys, she's part of this collab, so you should do that anyway. But look at these fun ornament blanks. They are in the Christmas craft section in my particular Hobby Lobby. They are in like the center aisle where they have the little end caps or standalone caps with the Christmas crafts on them. So I am just going over them with 1.5 coats of black velvet just to get all of this faux wood. It's not wood, it's more like a particle board, but guys, it looks so good. So for 2 of these, I am sealing it with a dark wax. For the other 2, I am sealing it with liquid patina. I really don't have a preference. It was just trying to see if there was much of a difference. Then I'm going over the ornaments with Golden Ticket, which is the golden liquid patina from DIY Paint. I'm just kind of lightly brushing over the top, not going for full coverage, just adding that beautiful golden look to these ornaments. I just love the rounded frames over the top of the ornaments. I just think they make them look so much more high-end. Next, I'm using the same method as project number 1. I am painting the back of the Sweet Angel with white paint, using liquid patina to decoupage the angel on top of the music sheet that I cut out to size. Guys, originally I was trying to put this whole thing behind the little plastic barrier that it came with, and then I'm like, you know what, this plastic barrier looks really cheap. I'm gonna take that off for the final result. It looks so much better. Sometimes you just like have to do things and be like, what am I thinking? Anyone else not see it until you see something like on the camera and then you're like, duh. So obviously you can also work on whatever background that you want to work on. I had some scrap paper from scrapbooking that I wanted to kind of put on the background. You could totally just paint this and stamp Kindest Regards as well. I was just trying to use up what I had around, but I am decoupaging. Now I'm getting smart and I'm decoupaging the stuff directly on the wood round that goes into the ornament. Guys, sometimes my brain, anyway, I'm not being mean to myself. I'm just laughing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to decoupage the paper onto the round, and I am going to put this version of the ornament is going to have Sweet Charlie over the top. And then I'm going to use the gorgeous velvet ribbon that I got from Amazon a couple Christmases ago and still am loving it and using it, and we'll put a link in the description. I totally love how these precious ornaments turned out. What do you guys think? These next projects are also inspired by Kristen, I'm telling you. She uses these magnetic canvases from Hobby Lobby. They are in the art supply section, so near all of the oil paint and everything, but the magnet is already on there. So I am going to stamp a couple of these with the texture stamp from IOD. I find it's easier to put your stamp on the table and just put your project upside down and get a nice little impression. So 2 of them I'm going to put the distress stamp on and just put the angel on top of that, so the distressed is behind the rice paper. And then 2 of them I'm not going to do that. For these particular angels, I'm going to use a gold pin outline around the side, and then for the other one, I'm not going to distress underneath. I'm going to use Pennies from Heaven on the side, and then use that splatter technique where I splatter like little dots over the top of the project. And since it's been sealed, I'm able to wipe off some of the dots where it got a little heavy. I'm just going to let you watch the rest of this. This is a simple project, but yet they are so precious. For my 5th and final project this week, this almost didn't happen, but I was like, where am I going to put these magnets in my booth? And I remembered that I had thrifted this a while ago for $3 whole, but never really loved the look of it. So I took it apart and I went over it with a coat of Prairie Grey, which is one of my favorite neutral colors. And I decided I wanted to add this angel to one of them. I was going to make 2 different displays, one for each booth to sell the magnets in. So one would be a double, the other one would be a single. I'm just doing the same thing that I was doing earlier, painting the back white, cutting Daddy's little girl out, and decoupaging her on the project. The different part that I'm doing with this one is I am going to use some of my scrap paint inlays. This is from the Lattice Rose paint inlay. I had used this for a project a while back and had these scraps and wanted to see how they would work out second use. So a couple of these are second use. One of them I didn't realize was first use, which is why it comes out a little bit stronger than the other. But I just went with it. If it came out stronger and I needed to distress it afterward, that's what I would do. The quick and dirty with the paint inlay is you do 1 coat, let it dry, do your second coat, and that's when you put the paint inlay on top when the second coat is still wet. You mist the paint side of the paint inlay, put it in your wet paint and then let that dry. You can mist the top of that and kind of get it so that it all immerses together. After that completely dries, you mist it again so that it is wet, and then you slowly peel it off, and that is the quick and dirty paint inlay version. So what did you guys think of my angel themed flips and DIYs today? I had fun just being a little creative and being inspired by Connie's papers. Guys, go check out my friends and their channels. They are just amazing women. Their hearts are just amazing, and they're super talented. And I like it usually when those combinations are together, and I want to share them out with my people. We've got Kristen with Simply Joy by Kristen, Treasure with Made with Love, Leanne with Small Gestures, Vintage and Crafts, and Tara with The Reclaimed Ranch. Guys, these are amazing women. If you haven't checked them out, just go give them a try. Go show them some support. If they speak to you, join their YouTube community. And you know what? Thank you. When I suggest that you guys go check out people, you guys are doing it with such kind hearts. So thank you so, so much. Did you have a favorite from today's project? Did you enjoy the collab? Let me know in the comments below. If you are new here and you came from those other channels, welcome. I love to do DIY videos, and I'm kind of in the holiday mood lately, so expect a lot more of those from me. I would love it if you join my Create Your Own Cozy family. Subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments below. Share, you know, all the fun things that YouTube loves. I am so thankful for each and every one of you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.
I wanted that. Give it back. Give it back. Give it back, dude. Give it back. I got this. I got this now. Oh, yeah? Can we get it? I got it. Go down.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check me out over at createyourowncozy.com.